Exports incentive roadmap on track as March receipts surged by over 13%.
Later on, when we look at sport, Ian Bakala joins Caps United as assistant coach.
And now for the news in detail.
The President, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, has officially commissioned automated grain silos in Kwekwe amid calls for industry and tertiary education institutions to work on farm grain storage solutions to minimize post-harvest losses.
Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, filed the following report.
Grain Marketing Board has been given a pat on the back for a job well done during the drought years, the worst in 43 years, when they distributed grain to almost all parts of the country. They've also been given a pat on the back for constructing this state-of-the-art grain storage in Kwekwe. It is now common knowledge that with the coming in of the Second Republic, Zimbabweans have witnessed increased production and productivity in cereals, horticulture, oilseed crops, as well as industrial crops, along with improved national livestock numbers. Soon after arriving at the new Grain Marketing Board depot in Kwekwe and a short tour of the plant, the President, Comrade Emerson Mnangagwa, officially opened the state-of-the-art automated grain silos with a carrying capacity of 56,000 tons of grain. He spoke of the need to increase the food reserve of this country.
My government made the deliberate decision to increase the strategic grain reserve from the current 750,000 metric tons to 1.5 million metric tons. To guarantee the requisite storage, we further resolved to establish 14 additional silo depot sites across all rural provinces, including these Kwekwe grain silos we are commissioning today. These sites will enhance the national storage capacity from the current 750,000 metric tons to 1.5 million metric tons. Upon completion of the silos, the nation is predicted to be able to store enough grain in strategic grain reserve for a period of 3 years at any given time.
The facility marks the beginning of a nationwide modernization and the integration of artificial intelligence and other technologies in the grain storage infrastructure, said the President.
Features such as modernized in-built dryers, real-time monitoring of temperature, humidity, moisture level and carbon dioxide, along with improved ventilation in the silos, will improve grain quality and ensure longer-term storage of our grain. I'm aware that in the past, outdated infrastructure led to losses, sometimes totaling over $30 million, largely due to pest damage, as well as moisture and handling inadequacies. This situation was untenable.
The head of state said in the past, grain silos were put in grain-producing areas, and it costs a lot distributing grain to most parts of the country. Hence, these new ones are to be built in those drought-stricken areas.
For the first time in our country, silos are being established in the drier geographical regions to enable grain storage within the proximity of communities that may require grain support during seasons of drought.
He said his government is committed to improve the yield per hectare by capacitating the farmer, the extension officers, and the adequate and fair reward to the farmer.
The recently announced producer prices for the 2024-2025 summer cropping season and the 2025 winter wheat incentive price are part of ongoing efforts to enable farmers to get fair value for their produce while maintaining the country's grain reserves. As we consolidate our transformational agriculture program, institutions of higher learning, together with industry, are called upon to innovate around the development of on-farm grain storage solutions.
A successful implementation of this project should see the highest level of management, professionalism, and stewardship in superintending this flagship facility, where the words of encouragement from the head of state, the who is who from Midlands, was present. Also in attendance were senior government officials, several cabinet ministers, and the Grain Marketing Board officials. This is the way to go. No place must be left behind, said the president. Ruben Barwa, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
Speaking of storage, the 7 artificial intelligence-driven silos commissioned by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Kwekwe this Monday are set to transform grain storage infrastructure in the country. Let's take a look.
The agriculture revival efforts are well on course, with these smart silos commissioned today set to help farmers in dealing with post-harvest losses which used to characterize the sector in previous years. The artificial intelligence-powered silos have a control room where every operation with regards to grain storage is centralized.
These silos are metal galvanized silos which are water resistant and corrosion free, and also it is a IoTs, that's on-time, real-time sensors that can test the grain humidity and also quality of the grains.
The government says the smart silos will guarantee national food security and self-sustenance.
Your Excellency, according to the Crop, Livestock and Fisheries Assessment Report, maize production this year is estimated at 2.2 million metric tons, traditional grains at 634,000 metric tons, cumulatively 2.9 million metric tons of cereals. We will have a surplus cereal production this year of 1.2 million metric tons. So these silos, Your Excellency, will find immediate use.
Today's event, therefore, underscores the Second Republic's commitment to deliver tangible signature and national development milestones despite the negative impact of global shocks and the illegal economic sanctions imposed on our beloved nation by the United States and its Western allies. These GMB silos bear the testimony to the commitment by the new dispensation to ensure quality, affordable, and accessible services closer to the people for their convenience.
Agriculture stakeholders believe the smart silos are a step forward as the country angles to attain Vision 2030.
The World Bank reports that more than 38% of maize harvested is lost after due to poor storage facilities and other inadequacies. And this is a right investment in the right direction towards Vision 2030, where we are seeing investing in making sure that we don't lose any grain after harvesting.
Yes, I'm a better farmer. We're running that plus or minus 400-500 tons sanitary register with GMP. Sakamatura it when a president died. shure yavo kwatirisu mafarmers tiri kuti President Mnangagwa zvamuri kutiitira hatigona zvitaura but muri kugona
kuziva kuti mbeu dzedu dzatiri kurima dzaane pekuenda pakanaka plus patiri kurima hatisina zvichemo zvakawanda zvokuti tinochema kuti saka kana chikafu chikange chapera tichatangira papi bhosi taane pekuchengetera chikafu chedu pakakura.
The Kwekwe GMB expansion project is part of the 14 depots currently under construction and will see the country having a grain storage of 1.5 million metric tons, up from the 750,000 metric tons that the country currently has. Tafara Chikomira, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
The Zimbabwe Miners Federation is projecting a huge decline on its import bill on mining machinery after entering into an agreement with the Dinson Iron and Steel Company for the supply of equipment to the small-scale and artisanal mining sector.
Production of iron and steel products at the $1 billion United States Dinson Iron and Steel Company, DISCO, in Manise Mvuma, is already positioning a number of key industries, redefining the country's industrialization agenda. The latest partnership deal between the Zimbabwe Miners Federation and Dinson Iron and Steel Company, DISCO, will significantly plug revenue loss through imports while also promoting local procurement, according to the Zimbabwe Miners Federation President, Ms. Henrietta Rushwaya.
As Zimbabwe Miners Federation, we are going to sign a memorandum of understanding which will culminate into a memorandum of agreement with Dinson Iron and Steel as one of their biggest consumers of their product. Let's promote locally manufactured products because they are more durable, they last longer, and they are cheaper.
Apart from this agreement, there is also a strategic arrangement for the supply of chrome to DISCO by small-scale miners. According to the Zimbabwe Miners Federation, this will significantly remove export bottlenecks for chrome miners as they supply directly to the steel-producing firm. Officials at DISCO are preparing to meet local demand after a commitment to prioritize domestic demand.
We intention want to supply enough the local consumption. Yeah, any surplus we export. But so we also want to diversify the steel product which we are going to produce. The rebar, just first a primary product, like the wells going to be ready very soon. So after rebar, after wells, there's also many different steel products we can also develop, like the nails, like the fencing, yes, like the bolts. Yeah.
Dinson Iron and Steel Company has a production target of at least 600,000 metric tons of carbon steel annually, a yield output which experts say is critical to support the country's industrial landscape. Government has already outlined its support to the revival of steel production with the latest restrictions on steel imports through Statutory Instrument 46 of 2025, coming as a measure to reduce dependency on imports. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News.
The Zimbabwean digital and data industry is attracting significant foreign entities which are seeking to seize opportunities created by government's quest to create a digitized economy. Let's take a look.
Government's quest to create a digital economy is gaining traction, with foreign firms including Analytics Hive from South Africa and FinTech Transformative Technology from Kenya expressing readiness to provide strategic intelligent solutions. The firms are attending the Zimbabwe Digital Week in Harare.
It's super important that we make services frictionless, more seamless and efficient. Let's say if somebody goes to apply for an ID or some of these essentials, it becomes very easy if you can do such process online.
The good thing about Zimbabwe, you've got a lot of initiatives, a lot of young people with ideas, and those ideas translate into actions providing you can connect them into the digital infrastructure. That financial infrastructure rides on a digital infrastructure. Tremendous amount of work seems to be being done at the moment across the country to ensure that we've got connectivity.
Other stakeholders have cited digital transformation as pivotal in creating competitive organizational systems.
Modern day business organizations, they've now realized that supply chain, especially procurement, is no longer an administrative role but a strategic pillar with capacity to define business success or failure. Why am I saying this? Because competition is now no longer between organizations, but the supply chains are doing the competition.
In the same vein, government is establishing an artificial intelligence policy framework that promotes and regulates the use of AI in the country. The Second Republic is making positive progress in creating a private sector-led digitized economy to accelerate the country's development towards becoming an upper middle-income society by 2030. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The roadmap to the June 14 National Assembly by-election is progressing well, with ZANU-PF concluding its primary elections to select the party's Insizza North constituency representative.
After the declaration of vacancies in the Gutu East and Insizza North constituencies, the ruling party ZANU-PF has finalized its internal plebiscite. Comrade Moses Langa emerged as the party's representative in Insizza North after winning Saturday's primary elections. Comrade Langa prevailed over 6 other candidates and now awaits the nomination court sitting on the 15th of May. In Gutu East, Comrade Jarevashe Maswingise will represent the party, having won the primary election held on the 16th of April. These seats became vacant after the expulsion of former legislator Benjamin Ganyua of Gutu East constituency over disciplinary issues within ZANU-PF and the passing of Comrade Farai Taruvinga of Insizza North in March. Subsequently, President Emerson Mnangagwa announced the vacancies as notified by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Advocate Jacob Mudenda, in Proclamation 3 of 2025, contained in Statutory Instrument 44A of 2025. The party will face opposition candidates who are expected to file their nominations at the courts on the 15th of May. The ruling party is targeting to retain the seats, continuing its trend of gaining ground in the National Assembly, including victories in previously opposition-dominated areas. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
Government is working with the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority to address the power situation following technical faults which occurred at Hwange Power Station and Harare Substation at the weekend, leading to increased load shedding.
Zimbabwe has experienced significant power outages in the past week owing to technical faults at Hwange Power Station, while faults at other substations have also contributed to the recent power disruptions. The Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable July Moyo, and the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Muswere, toured the Highfield substation in Harare this Monday evening to assess the extent of the damage.
We have been hit by 2 incidents which are unconnected. First, there was an incident in Hwange where ZESA had to shut down 5 units. Then there is an incident which is affecting the people here in Harare. There was a fire which occurred and it cut off the supply to most of the areas in this vicinity. And because of that, ZESA has been working very hard to restore that supply to all the places that are affected right now. As I understand, this evening they are now putting back some units in the substation, and they will be able to supply immediately.
Zimbabwe Power Company Acting Managing Director Engineer Norbert Matarutse confirmed that the power utility has also ramped up power generation at Kariba Hydro Power Station.
We had 5 units running at Hwange Power Station yesterday. Around 11 we lost the first unit, and then we had to take some intervention measures to prevent possible losses of further 4 units following an ingress of acid into our boilers. We normally use acid for a lot of things at the power station, but on this particular day, there was an inadvertent admittance of acid into the boilers.
The strategic expansion of the national power grid through the rural electrification program and operationalization of independent power producers is also on course. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
The ruling ZANU-PF party says it is confident of winning the Gutu East parliamentary seat in the upcoming by-election, riding on developments implemented by the Second Republic across communities.
After the declaration of a vacant in Gutu East constituency by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, the ruling party launched its campaign in the area at the weekend at Mchekayawara Business Center. The ruling party is riding on the unity of the party and its commitment to improving community livelihoods.
Sevana vemunhu umwe muchinoita chinhu chimwe chokuhwinisa ZANU-PF musi wa14 June. Ngatirambei tine mweya iwoyo wokubatana, ngatirambei tine mweya iwoyo wokudanana, uye ngatidei musangano wedu.
The provincial leadership is upbeat of retaining the Gutu East parliamentary seat, with government pledging to continue implementing development programs in the area.
Musi wa14 richava zuva rokukonfirma support yatinayo kuna president wedu, nokuti candidate yauya iyi angori mutumwa weparty yeZANU-PF. Comrade zvareva shemazvingise uchahwina zvinomutsindo. Isi seprovince yenyu tichange tiripo tichifamba naye zuva nezuva. Takagara ipo pano kliniki munoiona nyuwani. Bridge iro rakavakwa naMnangagwa munoriona, mamwe makliniki ariko. President wati hapana unofamba 5 kilometers achinda achitsvaka kune chipatara kana kune chikoro.
ZANU-PF Gutu East candidate Comrade Zvareva Shemasvingise is equally confident of victory.
Support chef iriko isu seGutu East tichafamba nevision wo kana tine slogan yedu inoti one Gutu East and one Gutu United. Tiri mumasvingo yakabatana.
The Gutu East parliamentary seat fell vacant after the expulsion of former legislator Comrade Benjamin Ganyiwa. The by-election will be held on the 14th of June. May Smatna, ZBC News, Gutu.
You're watching the main news. Remember, this and more stories are available on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
Here are stories still to come in this bulletin. Exports incentive roadmap on track as March receipts a surge by over 13%.
And in sport, Ian Bakala joins Caps United Club as assistant coach. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want. Now this is banking redefined. Deposits done. Withdrawals easy. All in one smooth move. Sleek, chic, always on. Your new Stanbic Bank ATM is here. Withdraw USD cash anytime, any day using any Visa or MasterCard at our new Zimray Park ATM located at Puma Service Station, Zimray Park Turnoff. You can also deposit USD cash into any Stanbic Bank account. No more queues or inconvenient opening hours. Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The ZANU-PF Women's League continues to make significant strides in promoting women empowerment, with more projects being cascaded to Manicaland province in line with the vision to achieve an upper middle income society by 2030. Let's take a look.
The launch of a HRE project in Mutasa this Monday saw the women appreciating the works being done by President Emerson Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF Women's League in ensuring that they are at the center of the national empowerment drive.
Kutenda ne program yatapiwa yekuti ndakugonawo kuti ndikaita huku ndikabva muhuku ndoenda mbudzi ndikabva mbudzi ndoenda mumombe. Project yedu yakuramba ichibudirira. Inini ndiri kutendawo ndakamirirawo chechi mama wedu mama mai chinomona vatiitira zvakanaka.
ZANU-PF Women's League chairperson for Manicaland Province, Comrade Dorothy Mabika, and the Wings National Political Commissar, Comrade May Bimboa, underscored the importance of unity and empowerment projects in growing the party.
President wetu vanoti ufumi kumaruwa. Saka maona tiri kuno kumaruwa kuti munhu wese mumusangano wakaenzana. Pamberi pa president wedu hakuna munhu wakashoreka.
Rega kutarisa Mabika waunovenga kana kuti wausina kugovera wakasapota. Tarisa Mabika asarudzwa kumirira ZANU-PF Manicaland. Ndozviso ramai chinokona navamunangagwa when we come to Manicaland province. Ukaona ini powa ndokuti inite vanhu vangu ndarasika.
The ZANU-PF Secretary for Women Affairs, Comrade Mebo Chinomona, who launched a HRE project in Mutasa, says the Women's League Empowerment Drive is part of efforts to ensure the country achieves President Emerson Mnangagwa's vision of an upper middle income economy by 2030.
Tinokurudzira kuti madzimai haikona kungojaira kuti baba ndiye anoenda kubasa. Enda kubasa uri pamba pako ipapo uchichengeta huku dzako idzodzo. Ibasa rakakura iroro. Madzimai musangano weZANU-PF uri mumaoko menyu. Saka tiri kuda kuti musimudze musangano weZANU-PF. Musimudze nemabasa amuri kuita.
Meanwhile, Chief Mutasa also donated 4 incubators to increase the capacity of the new project to 5,600 eggs at a time.
We are trying to appreciate one, mupenyu hwedu varume nevana, the role the women play. Ndekuti pamwe pashoka tinoona kuti vakadzi vari kusiyiwa vari kunze vachinzi itai, but isusu no, let's promote them and let's support them. Mune zvakuita sei zvavari kuita kuti upenyu hwedu tese varume nevana zviite sei zvisumukire.
Meanwhile, the ZANU-PF Women's League, with the support of the party's national chairperson, Comrade Opam Chingori Kashiri, have distributed 30 tons of wheat, rice, salt and clothes to women in the province. Kenya Sivushe, ZBC News, Mutasa.
The Victoria Falls rainforest has recorded a notable increase in tourist arrivals during the first quarter of 2025, welcoming more than 60,000 visitors, up from over 50,000 during the same period last year.
According to the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, ZimParks, the increase is largely driven by a significant rise in international arrivals, which reached over 47,000 in 2025 compared to about 44,000 the previous year. However, domestic tourism saw a decline, dropping from over 15,000 last year to about 13,000 this year. Key international source markets contributing to this growth include Europe, with strong numbers from the United Kingdom, Ireland and Germany, owing largely to the availability of tailored tour packages.
Enhanced accessibility through expansion of Victoria Falls Airport, along with the introduction of new flight routes, including direct flights from Frankfurt by Eurowings, has further facilitated the growing interest among German tourists. The implementation of the CASA Univisa, which simplifies cross-border travel between Zimbabwe and Zambia, also Botswana, has also played a pivotal role in encouraging visitors to explore both sides of the falls.
This news crew caught up with some visitors drenched from the rainforest mist, who shared their excitement and awe at the natural wonder nestled in the heart of the wetland city.
It's beautiful. It's so much water, very powerful. And especially when you walk in, there's so much rain falling, but it's beautiful with so many rainbows, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, so it was so amazing to
excellent experience for me.
It was very nice. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. Make sure you have your raincoat. On the beginning, it wasn't like that wet, but now we are soaked.
Regionally, South Africa remains the leading source market of visitors, followed closely by Botswana, further contributing to the growing tourism ecosystem in Victoria Falls. As Zimbabwe's tourism sector continues its post-pandemic recovery, the positive momentum is being fueled by enhanced marketing, increased infrastructure investment, and rising confidence among both international and local travelers. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
We're now joined by Dora Ngube from our Montrose studios, who's going to be giving us some more updates. Good evening, Dora, and it's over to you.
Good evening, Zain and Joyce, and of course the rest of the team at Pokatol. Many thanks for taking us on, and a lovely evening to our viewers. And now in our next report, Zimbabwe is making strides in providing universal health care, exemplified by the life-altering free plastic and reconstructive surgeries being conducted in Bulawayo. Our reporter Yolanda Moyo files the following report.
18-year-old Owen Manetese from Chimanimani is one of the many beneficiaries of the free plastic and reconstructive surgeries program at Q Children's Hospital in Bulawayo, a prospect that fills both him and his mother with hope for a brighter future, free from the physical and emotional scars of the past.
kuchikora vana vasikamugamuchiri zvazvakaoma iyo yakaita challenge hombe kuti yakatoafekita zvakanyanya uye even kuchechi nanhasi kana chechi uye haanyatsi kufarira ndochokwadi uye chechi haanyatsi kufarira bcause vana havamugamuchiri even munhu chanoramba akamutariswa.
Across the border, another mother, Miss Solista Swanda, cradles a 5-month-old baby whose cleft lip and palate was surgically repaired at the hospital.
Sebakuripea konke. Useright kathesi ngiyajabula kakhulu into eyenzakalayo. Loba ngisekhaya senzizwe ngijabulile ngihamba la ebantwini. Ngoba kathesi seright.
The surgeries have become a bridging gap, providing essential services that strengthen the nation's healthcare system.
When they come here, they are getting treated, and as you said, all they have to do is make it to the hospital. Once they're here, everything else is covered if it's a procedure that we can handle.
Established in 2021 as a specialist orthopedic hospital, Q Children's Hospital in Bulawayo broadened its services in 2023, include comprehensive plastic and reconstructive surgery. Since then, the institution has attended over 500 patients, providing expert care for conditions ranging from bent contractures and cleft lip and palate to other congenital anomalies and traumatic injuries. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
More than 20 apostolic sects in Wange district are rallying their members to seek medical attention for cancer-related ailments, complementing government efforts towards universal health coverage.
The apostolic churches which converged in Wange this Sunday had a strong message that it is not enough to consult spiritually when it comes to cancer, imploring the need to seek medical help from the country's health facilities. Both members and leaders of the sects concurred on the importance of getting professional health care to fight the cancer scourge.
Cancer sihluphile kakhulu kubomama, ihluphile endaweni zase kule cancer yegazi, kule cancer yamathambo, kule cancer yamabele, kule cancer yokuthiwa yi-cervical cancer isihluphile. Njalo abaprofiti siyavuma ukuthi bona ngokwabo bayibamba ngekuprofiti. Siyavuma ukuthi basitshela ukuthi mama ule cancer, baba ule cancer. Kodwa bayasitshela abanye basitshela ukuthi hayi hambani liyolatshwa esibhedlela.
Zvigwere zviriko mazuva ano zvawanda, zvigwere zvekenza. Vanhu vanouya kuzobatsirwa kumasangano emasowe, kumasangano emaziyoni. Vachinzi vaende kuzvipatara kundobatsirwa vari mukati mezvipatara.
Ngibonga uhulumende wethu ngomusa lothando alisenzela lona emikhuhlaneni ekhona kubomama, imikhuhlane yecancer, imikhuhlane etshiyeneyo. Ukuba siyavunyelwa bavunyelwa omama kuba beyelatshwa mahara kungela mbadalo.
Sonzo redu ndilo kuti vanhu vanamata vachiprofita zvigwere zvavanadzo vachisundaidzwa chigwere kunyanya chigwere chegomarara chekenza chechisindaidzwa chinzi vainde kuzvipatara. Isu hatirambidzi vanhu kuti vainde kuzvipatara.
Enda zvikuru nechirongwa chiripo, dambudziko rasangana nenyika yese noti yeZimbabwe chete pasi rese, asi baba vedu vakatipa mukana wekuti vechikuru vaende vanoscreeniwa chirwere chekenza zvisina mubhadharo, zviripo pachena.
The churches also pay tribute to government and President Emmerson Mnangagwa for its robust drive to build clinics and hospitals countrywide to achieve universal health coverage. Shamuli Ncube, CBC News, Wange.
The Zimbabwe National Association of Liberation War Veteran Cadres, who are pushing for an amendment of the Veterans of the Liberation Struggle Act, this Monday appeared before Parliament to give oral evidence with regards to their petition, which is requesting for the deletion of non-combatant cadre from the definition of person who assisted the war veterans. Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Defence, Home Affairs, Security Services and War Veterans Affairs, Honorable Xavier Mawoneke speaks.
They don't want to be referred to as non-cadres or non-combatants. They want to be classified as war veterans as well, and they receive the same recognition as war veterans. So we invited the ministry to be there, the Ministry of War Veterans, and also other associates like the War Veterans Association, who were represented by their Secretary General, Comrade Douglas Mahia. So that's what we were discussing with them. They indicated that this issue was supposed to be resolved way back, more than 23 years ago. So they're saying the government is taking long to amend the constitution to accommodate that change. And they also were worried about the vetting process, which they are saying is taking long. They are saying they were vetted, but they were never given. After the vetting process was done, it was not gazetted. So they want the government to gazette it now so that they can also receive the benefits.
An anti-stray dogs campaign has been launched in Bulawayo following an increase in cases of dog bites and recent rabies-related cases in the city.
2 rabies-related cases have triggered a reactionary approach by the local authority, with the campaign dubbed "A Shot to Kill" having been launched and set to run from the 4th of this month to the 5th of next month. The development has been welcomed by residents.
Kuright ukuthi council ithole indlela engagcina ngayo lezi zinto ezinganjani ezingelabanigazi. As we are keeping these dogs, we must also protect even the people in our communities, because these dogs, they are not wild animals, but they are domesticated animals whereby they have to live with people. But in that process where they are living with people, we have to protect them and also protect the community. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
The local authorities' cleansing superintendent, Mr. Nkanyison Ndlovu, says the campaign comes after an alarming number of over 272 dog bites and 2 rabies cases recorded this year.
This process has been necessitated by the increasing number of dog bites that we have been recording in the city. Last year in 2024, we had more than 600 dog bites. And this year, from January up to end of March, we have had 272 dog bites. Currently in Bulawayo, we have recorded 2 positive rabies cases. So if a person contracts rabies, death is a possibility, a high possibility. So we have come in as the city of Bulawayo to try to protect our residents against rabies. Everyone who has got a dog has to keep their dog within the confines of their property so that we control this menace of stray dogs.
Council bylaws stipulate that Western households are permitted to breed 2 dogs, while 4 dogs are allowed for households at the eastern suburbs.
And all that's it from us here at Montrose. So we now take it back to the team at Pocketsville. Zain, over to you.
Thanks, Dora, for the updates right there. We bring it back to our Pocketsville studios, where we jump straight into our courts, as we have 3 more suspected armed robbers believed to be part of the gang that carried out a violent heist at Alpha Omega Farm in Marondera have appeared at the Harare Magistrates Court. Let's take a look at the report.
The suspects Shingrai Bauren, Dave Saurombe and Mnyaradzi Chakanetsa are linked to the March 18, 2025 robbery at the Alpha Omega farm in Marondera. During the incident, a gang of approximately 20 armed men allegedly executed a coordinated attack, overpowering security personnel and assaulting family members. The assailants reportedly made off with more than 70,000 United States dollars in cash, a pistol and several high-value items. Some of the suspects who are linked to the same matter are already in custody. In another case, a duo of Tao Blessing Due aged 27 and Martin Charlie 25 have appeared at the Harare Magistrates Court on allegations of sexual assault involving a socialite. According to court documents, sometime last month, the suspects invited the complainant under the pretext of offering her an advertising contract for their purported business. It emerged that the complainant met the two accused in Harare Central Business District before they proceeded to a certain residence in Eastleigh. Upon arrival, the suspects allegedly lured her into a room under the guise of a business meeting. Once inside, the complainant was reportedly confronted by both accused, who allegedly locked the doors and took turns to rape her. Despite being threatened not to disclose the incident, the complainant reported the matter to the police. A medical examination was conducted and the suspects were subsequently arrested. In their initial court appearance this Monday, the duo was remanded in custody pending a bail application scheduled for Wednesday. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The United Nations Women's Executive Board is in the country for a high-level visit aimed at assessing progress and strengthening partnerships towards gender equality and women's empowerment.
The delegation, which is in the country for a week-long visit, met the Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, in Harare this Monday. The minister took the opportunity to reaffirm Zimbabwe's commitment towards advancing gender equity through robust national frameworks and collaborative efforts.
Our president emphasizes a lot about the whole of government approach. So we work with government, we work with UN agencies, we work with CSOs, civil society organizations, we work with women movement in this country, from the grassroots all the way to the top. So our critical role is to make sure that we coordinate that collective national effort so that we attain the gender equality and women empowerment which we're talking about. As a government, we have established, that is the government of Zimbabwe, we have established national mechanisms to make sure that the work it can be done and can be coordinated. We also have the Zimbabwe Gender Commission, which is one of the 12 independent commissions in our constitution, and we work very closely. Their job is to make sure that they monitor and evaluate the work which everybody is doing. Are we achieving the results we want at the same time? Then we do have gender mainstreaming directorates. It's very interesting to say, when this started, initially it was, we had quite a number of teething problems. The gender mainstreaming directorates were not very active, but as a ministry, together with everybody, the UN agencies and CSOs, we have continued to carry out what we call workshops and seminars to just make sure that they understand their job, not just with the directorates, but with the heads of those ministries. As a country, again, we have registered significant progress in promulgating laws and amending existing ones. I want to say the constitution of this country is a very positive document. It's actually pro-female. I always call it a female document.
The visit by the UN Women Executive Board marks a pivotal moment for Zimbabwe to showcase its progress and renew calls for global solidarity in the fight for gender justice and women's rights. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has paid tribute to the late former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Honorable Tan Abdullah Ahmed Badawi, and his role in that country's strong economic growth and stability.
The former Prime Minister of Malaysia died on the 14th of April this year at the age of 85. This Monday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Professor Amon Morwira, signed the Book of Condolences at the Malaysian Embassy in Harare.
Zimbabwe and Malaysia have got a lot of exchange, especially in human capital development. And we are now working to deepen our relations by making sure that we raise the trade profile between our two sisterly and brotherly countries. So it was with deep sadness that we learned about the death of former Prime Minister Badao, and it is out of this deep respect that we came to sign the Book of Condolences on behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
The Embassy of Malaysia's Chargé d'Affaires, Mr. Anif Fauzi, applauded the ties with Zimbabwe.
The deaths of the former Prime Ministers is quite very sad for us as a nation, because he was also the former Foreign Minister, the longest serving Foreign Ministers in the 90s. And at the time we see at the 90s, we had a very constructive and a very great relationship between Malaysia and Zimbabwe. I think during his time, a lot of South-South cooperations was initiated, and until now also. And the opening of the condolence book is as a mark of the sad of the passing of our foreign leaders, especially the former prime ministers. Yeah.
The fifth Prime Minister of Malaysia between 2003 and 2009, Honorable Badawi, is remembered for prioritizing good governance, civil service reform, along with the promotion of interfaith dialogue. Under his stewardship, Malaysia experienced a strong economic growth and stability, with his administration placing emphasis on agriculture, biotechnology and rural development, launching several strategic development partnerships, especially within the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
May his soul rest in peace. On that note, we'll take a break. We'll be back shortly with business news.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
Atlas Convention 2025 Global Edition, themed Investing in Africa's Prosperity, will be held in Victoria Falls. Experts from plus 133 countries will gather at this landmark event to explore transnational trade, investment opportunities, academic research insights, and bankable high-impact innovations for Africa. From the business of our bustling cities to the melting pot of African adventure safari.
Bungee jump Victoria Falls.
Take a deep dive into a unique blend of adventure experience, diverse cultures, untouched wildlife, and spectacular nature across Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Botswana. Heads of state and government, private and public sector executives, R&D experts, thought leaders, the academia, transformation strategists, and investors will converge to explore unique opportunities and forge partnerships for path-breaking sustainable initiatives that will drive a competitive, modernized, and industrialized Africa. Register today on www.atlasconvention.com. Atlas Convention, bringing African opportunities to the global stage.
Thank you for staying with us in business. Zimbabwe's export incentives are bearing fruit after earnings rose by over 13% to 580 million United States dollars in March this year.
Government has in the past few years introduced several incentives such as a sustainable foreign currency retention threshold for exporters, special economic zone benefits, tax incentives for the mining industry, and support for value addition, among others. Statistics seen by the ZBC News on Monday indicate the incentives aided by a strong mining base and agricultural production resulted in overall growth for exports in March this year. The figures show that Zimbabwe's exports were dominated by the United Arab Emirates UAE, riding on milestones in improved bilateral relations. South Africa and China also accounted for Zimbabwe's export markets. Gold dominated the exports at over 40%, aided by massive investments from large-scale mining firms, including increased production by the artisanal miners. Other key mineral commodities were nickel, tobacco, chrome, and industrial products. The statistics show that although exports improved, the huge import bill, dominated by fuel, machinery, cereals, and vehicles, continues to pile pressure on the balance of payments. South Africa is the major source of imports at over 30%, followed by China, Bahamas, and Mozambique, among others. Zimbabwe is targeting export receipts of more than 7 billion United States dollars this year. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
From our look at business, we shift our focus to the arts. Music superstar Ja Praiser, who unveiled his latest album at the weekend, has once again struck the right chord, with his fans giving positive reviews of the musical offering, which has been described as a tapestry of culture, spirituality, and deep reflection.
In the heart of Zimbabwe's musical landscape, Ja Praiser has managed to prove himself as one of the country's greatest artists, with fans praising his 14th album. Ndini Mukudze, an album unveiled Saturday night at the Old Hararians in Bearing Fortune Songs, has received acclaim for its rich blend of contemporary sounds and traditional rhythms.
I'm loving Ja Praiser's new album. He's managed to maintain his roots, that deep Zimbabwean feel, infusing Bira and Osho. And this is the Ja Praiser that we know that most of the fans love.
The latest offering, Yaka Prova Gutu, he cemented his place as a good ambassador for cultural Zimbabwean identity through music and art. So it has grown from leaps and bounds.
pane uyu yekunzi makadiniko wawengi.
Outside the delays and administrative mishaps that occurred on the launch day, online reactions are pouring out, and many feel the album is a return to roots and reconnection with Zimbabwe's essence and authenticity. Among the standouts of the 14-track album is Kuno, the title track Ndini Mukudze, Sorry, Chiringiro, and Rushowa.
Well, we take a break. We come back with the latest in sport with Anna Shemrombedzi in the Sports Corner. Stay with us.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shamrombets here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, Caps United have taken a giant step towards revamping their fortunes by unveiling a newly assembled technical team, with Ian Bakala joining the club as assistant coach, while the new head coach is set to be revealed on Thursday. Bakala, a former Green Machine midfielder, rejoins the club as an assistant coach, bringing his wealth of experience to the role. The new setup comes after the club parted ways with the previous technical team, with the former coach Lloyd Chitembwe being redeployed to the role of technical director, replacing Shakespeare Chinogwenya. The club will announce the new head coach on Thursday. With the Caps United sitting 5th on the log table with 8 points from 10 games, the club is banking on the new technical team to turn their fortunes around.
We want Caps United to be a championship-winning team household. It has to be the champions. We have to be dancing with the African champions year in, year out. That's exactly what we want to do, and it's achievable. And even for this particular season, it's still within our shout. It's achievable.
Chitembwe, the most decorated Caps United player and coach in history, led the Green Machine to the league championship in 2016 and guided them to the group stages of the Champions League. He will remain within the Caps United setup in his new role as technical director. The new setup comes as the Green Machine will be up against the Urantals this weekend. Norton-based Premier League debutants Moors are dictating the pace in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, opening a 3-point game after edging up former champions Chicken Inn 1-0 at Luvava Stadium at the weekend.
Week 10 was a decent outing for debutants Moors and Scotland, who seemed to be dictating the pace after 10 rounds of matches. The Panthers reclaimed top spot after a 1-0 victory over Chicken Inn at Luveve. Moors opened a 3-point gap on 22 points, while Scotland is within shouting distance in what looks like a repeat of the Northern Region Division 1 campaign. Vira piled more misery on struggling Giants Dynamos courtesy of a 1-0 victory. Scotland have collected 19 points from 10 matches. Amid all the purple patch, Moors head coach Lloyd Mutasa believes the fairy tale is a result of the excitement by youngsters who are having a first-time dance in the top flight.
The challenge is big, but I would want to say glory be to God. I think we're not doing this on our own. You remember how we managed to get into the elite league. It wasn't easy, and the youngsters are very much inspired by that move of being there after having a lot of challenges.
Alongside former champions FC Platinum, the Panthers are yet to test defeat. Reigning champions Simba Bora are third on the same number of points as Scotland, but have an inferior goal difference. Highlanders are on 4th position after collecting their first win on the road against Yada. One complete the top 5 bracket after snatching a 1-0 win over Bikita Minerals. Low-veiled side Triangle sit at the basement of the log on 5 points, with Kwekwe on 17 after a 0-all share of spoils with Manica Diamonds. Yada are 16th, while Caps United and Dynamos find themselves in unfamiliar territory after 10 rounds of matches. Ntokozi Stue, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Platinum Royals unleashed a brilliant performance, thumping Red Buffaloes Sports Academy 13-0 at the weekend to move to the top of the Women Premier Soccer League table.
The Zhishavane best side stormed the pitch, leaving their opponents reeling. Despite their best efforts, Red Buffalo struggled to find their footing, unable to breach Platinum Royals' formidable defense. The resounding 13-0 victory propelled Platinum Royals to the top of the 16-team log table with 12 points from 4 matches. However, they will need to maintain their form to fend off second-place Chapungu, who have identical points tally. Correctional Queens, Black Rhinos Queens, and reigning champions Rentos Queens occupy the next spots, each with 9 points. Faith Drive and Dumpopoma Sports Academy with 6 points apiece occupy 6th and 7th positions, while Kwekwe United Queens with 3 points round out the top 8. The bottom 4 comprise Shesham Gweru Queens with 3 points, while Black Mambas Queens, Conduit Academy and Red Buffaloes are all yet to earn a point.
two Army-owned teams, Imbizo Queens and Imbizo Football Club, have received a shot in the arm after receiving a consignment of sporting equipment.
The Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, Professor Mthuli recently handed over sporting equipment to Imbizo Queens and Imbizo Football Clubs in Bulawayo. The gesture is expected to see the active involvement of the girl child in sport.
Siyajabula kakhulu ngama donations esibelawo esiwaphiwe ngu-honorable. Rikole bakhithe rafiwa idori tutuwedza navo rine savatambi. Tenda kulumba honorable minister Professor Mthuli Ncube kuti donate kit njatu donate ku netball team yesu.
Tikonke lokhu kungumsebenzi omuhle and lathi sadlala ngeconfidence ukuthi suwine ama games amaningi.
Accepting the donation, Zimbabwe National Army Chief of Staff Quartermaster Staff Major General Simo Maseko highlighted the need to empower the girl child through sport and at the same time promoting the security personnel's fitness.
Following your generous donation, we have successfully erected a security fence around the football pitch, ensuring a safer and more organized environment in line with ZIFA standards for our Division 1 soccer team.
Professor Ncube highlighted the need to support sports.
I'm informed that you managed to erect a fence around your football pitch in line with ZIFA standards. I also learned that you also managed to buy a kit for a netball league, for a netball team rather, known as Imbizo Queens, which is playing in the National Netball League.
The Imbizo Queens are in the Premier Netball League and are on position 8 on the log with 4 games in hand, while Imbizo FC are in the Southern Region Division 1 League and are on 15th position on the log. Aipeli Mudao, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
That's it from the Sports Corner. Weather report and focus is up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Opafanjuva, with a bit of moisture over the central parts of the main watershed, where we had areas such as the High Veld, the southern escarpment, covering parts of Masvingo, Matabele, and south, having cloudy conditions as of this morning. It was rather cold over much of the country, with the mostly sunny skies by afternoon, leading to warmer conditions over much of the country. But by evening, we're getting cooler conditions as the skies were clearing again, as seen here in our satellite image. For much of this week, we're expecting generally sunny skies across much of the country. Thus, no major clouds are expected, just brief cloudy periods over the eastern escarpment. For tonight, we're expecting rather cool conditions over much of the country, with some areas below 10 degrees Celsius, mainly along the main watershed. Should get warmer by afternoon across board, and with that, we urge you to keep warm, especially in the morning hours, where areas such as Bulawayo are projected to have very cold conditions in the morning, with a minimum of 8 and going as high as 24 by afternoon. 24 is also projected over the next few days, 26 as we get towards the weekend, with Matopo also increasing in their maximums, but the minimums rather in the cool category for Matopo. So if you happen to be in Matopo, please carry a jersey. That's for Gwanda. We're expecting 10s and 11s in the morning, with maximums of 24 and 25. 23 is our maximum for Masvingo for tomorrow, with a minimum of 9, which is in the cold category. Same for Gweru, we're expecting 7s and 8s for much of this week, but the afternoons should be warmer as we get towards the weekend. So it's good news for those in Gweru as well. For Kwekwe, we're expecting maximums of about 26 and 27, which is in the warm category as well. Kadoma also the same, with 26s and 27s for much of this week. For Harare, we're expecting much cooler conditions to start off with in the mild category by afternoon, and we're expecting a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 25, but it should get warmer towards the weekend. We're expecting a maximum of 28 on Sunday, Lupane 28 by the weekend, and it starts off tomorrow at 26, 27 for Victoria Falls tomorrow, but it gets up to about 29 degrees Celsius as we get towards the weekend. For Caribou, we're expecting brief cloudy periods because of remnant moisture, but it should get sunny as the week progresses. Same for Bindura, we're expecting more sunny skies in the days ahead and warmer conditions as such. For Marondi, we're expecting finding it rather cold in the morning. So if you happen to be in Marandura, please take care, especially in the morning hours. But it should warm up by noon. For Nyanga, we're expecting the same, very cold in the morning, and it warms up as we get towards the weekend. That's all for our weather and forecast. It's been a pleasure, Zimbabwe. I'm James Goma Jr. for the Med Department.
Well, that caps tonight's bulletin. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.
Eastern Forest Private Limited is a Standards Association of Zimbabwe certified port treatment plant. We do treatment of transmission, telephone and light poles, as well as wooden crossarms using creosote and chromated copper arsenate. We also do rough-sawn timber, PAR, plywood and ceiling boards. We are located at 17.5 km peg along Lomagundi Road in Mount Abden, Harare, and we've opened a new branch in Marondera at stand number 7751 Chicago Road opposite Old Famarama. For all your timber requirements, get in touch with Eastern Forest Private Limited on the following details. Eastern Forest Private Limited. Avanti Cars, a registered vehicle importer. With a wide-range service portfolio, all tailored to satisfy your fast, safe, reliable, and affordable vehicle importation requirements. Our broad services benefits are second to none as we treasure and highly value our customers in providing our services. Remember, you also instantly get $100 for referring a client to us. Avanti Cars, a registered vehicle importer. Geosat Engineering Company, we are proud manufacturers of liquefied petroleum castings, 5,000 liter skid tanks. We also do service station structures, truckboard coachworks, VJ couplings for irrigation pipes, gold bore mills for mining. Get in touch with us on the following details.